Love stories usually begin with smiles, with chance encounters in coffee shops, with laughter, with light. This one began with silence, with grief, with tears no one could hold back, with two strangers standing on opposite sides of a coffin. They met at a funeral, and neither of them expected that in the middle of loss, they would find something that felt like hope. The sky was grey the morning of the funeral. Not storming, just heavy. Ava stood near the front row, hands trembling slightly as she held a tissue she hadn't used yet. It was her older brother's funeral. 32 years old. Gone in an accident no one saw coming. Across the room, Ethan stood alone near the back. He wasn't family. He was a colleague. A close friend. Someone who had shared late-night shifts and quiet conversations with the man everyone was there to mourn. Their eyes met only once. Briefly. Not romantically. Just the look two grieving people give each other when words are unnecessary. "I'm sorry," he whispered later when he approached her after the service. She nodded. "Thank you for coming." That was it. No dramatic music. No sparks. Just shared sorrow. After the burial, most guests left quickly. Grief is exhausting. Ava stayed behind. So did Ethan. He was standing near her brother's headstone when she walked over. "You worked together?" she asked softly. "For 5 years," he replied. "He talked about you all the time." That caught her off guard. He did. "He was proud of you." Her chest tightened. No one had said that to her before. They talked longer than either expected. About small memories. About inside jokes. About the kind of person he was when no one else was watching. It didn't feel inappropriate. It felt necessary. Like two people piecing together fragments of someone they both loved in different ways. A week later, Ethan sent a simple message. "I found a photo of him at work. Thought you might want it." She hesitated before replying. Part of her felt strange talking to someone new. It had only been days. But grief is lonely. And he understood something her friends didn't. They met for coffee. Not a date. Just conversation. At one point, Ava laughed. A real laugh. The kind that surprised her. And immediately after, she felt guilty. How could she smile when her brother was gone? Ethan noticed the shift. "You're allowed to feel more than one thing," he said quietly. "Grief doesn't cancel joy." She looked at him differently after that. Not as a stranger. Not even as just her brother's friend. But as someone who understood loss in a language she didn't have to explain. Over time, their meetings became routine. Walks. Late-night phone calls. Sharing memories that felt too heavy to carry alone. One evening, Ethan finally admitted something. "I didn't just lose a coworker," he said. "He helped me through the worst year of my life." His father had died the year before. And Ava's brother had been the only one at work who noticed he was falling apart. "He saved me," Ethan whispered. In ways he probably didn't even realize. That was the first time Ava saw him cry. Grief had introduced them. But vulnerability was binding them. Months passed. The heaviness softened. Not gone. Just quieter. Their conversations slowly shifted from memories, to the present. To dreams. To fears. One night, sitting in her living room, Ethan hesitated. "We should talk about this." "About what?" she asked, even though she knew. "This, whatever this is becoming." She felt it too. The comfort. The warmth. The subtle way her heart beat differently around him. "But what would people think?" she whispered. "We met at his funeral." Ethan nodded. "I've thought about that every day." Falling in love in the shadow of loss felt almost wrong. But pretending there was nothing there felt worse. "He would want you to be happy," Ethan said gently. Tears filled her eyes. "How do you know?" "Because he told me once that your happiness mattered more to him than anything." Their first official date wasn't grand. Just dinner at a quiet restaurant. But when he reached for her hand across the table, it didn't feel rushed. It felt earned. They didn't replace grief. They carried it together. On the anniversary of her brother's passing, they visited the cemetery. Not out of obligation. But out of respect. Ava knelt beside the headstone and whispered, "I hope this is okay." The wind moved softly through the trees. Ethan stood behind her, steady and silent. Later that night, she turned to him and said something she had been afraid to admit. "I don't feel guilty anymore." He smiled. "Good. Because love didn't erase the loss. It grew around it." A year later, standing in the same cemetery, Ethan held her hand as they placed flowers down. Not because they were stuck in the past, but because they honored it. That was the moment she realized something powerful. They didn't meet by coincidence. They met because two broken hearts recognized each other in a crowded room. Love found them in the most unexpected place. Not in celebration, but in mourning. And maybe that's why it felt so real. Because when you see someone at their lowest, and they still stay, that's not attraction. That's commitment. Some love stories begin with fireworks. This one began with silence. With tears. With shared loss. They met at a funeral. And in the middle of grief, they found healing. And then love. Sometimes life takes something away, only to bring something unexpected in its place. If this story touched you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more emotional, realistic storytelling. And tell me in the comments, do you believe love can grow from grief? Sometimes the most beautiful beginnings come from the darkest days.